And it's the day that Mandan police officers arrived at that same crime scene, conducted a protective sweep of the premises, and found not one, not even two, but 3 additional victims. William Cobb, Lois Cobb, and Adam Fuhrer. Each one covered in gunshot wounds and stab wounds.
Monday morning, April 1st, 2019, just another workday in Mandan, North Dakota. At 7:19 a.m, an employee parked outside RJR Maintenance and Management, lit a cigarette, and prepared for another routine shift. Nothing seemed out of place until he stepped inside. The first thing he saw was Robert Fackler, his boss, lying on the floor. At first glance, Robert looked collapsed, maybe from a heart attack, but as the employee rushed closer, rolling him over, panic set in. Blood. Too much blood. Stab wounds. Not 1, not 2. Far more. This wasn't an accident. In that moment, everything changed. A normal day turned into something grotesque, surreal. Sirens were called in. Paramedics arrived expecting a medical emergency, only to be confronted with carnage. Robert wasn't alone. As officers pushed through the building, they uncovered more bodies, one after another. 3 men, 1 woman, 4 victims in total. Each brutally attacked, stabbed, shot. This wasn't just murder, it was slaughter, and whoever did it was already gone. Robert Fackler co-owned RJR Maintenance with his wife. Adam Fuhrer handled repairs from toilets to air conditioning. Bill and Lois Cobb managed maintenance and accounts, a married couple with 4 children and 3 grandchildren. Together with Robert and Adam, they were known around the office as the Coffee Club, always the first in.
I had a walkthrough scheduled of move out, and they never showed, and I came here to see what was going on, and I stayed. They've been great people to lease from, always very courteous and kind and caring, and so I just want to know that they're all right. They're good people.
On April 1st, 2019, each followed their usual patterns, unaware that a predator had chosen that day, that building, those people. Bill and Lois had their smoke, Adam made his rounds, Robert handled office matters, each unaware that the next step in their morning would be fatal. To the outside world, they were ordinary, trusted, safe. But that day, ordinary became horrifying. By the time officers arrived at the RJR offices, the scene was devastating. 4 people dead, stab wounds, gunshot wounds, blood everywhere. Mandan police had never faced a case like this in years. Detectives tried to piece together what had happened. Nothing about the scene suggested a struggle outside the victims. They had been attacked inside in different areas of the office. Whoever did this knew the building, knew the routines, knew exactly how to strike. CCTV footage was requested from the nearby buildings. Employees, tenants, neighbours, all were questioned. Nothing was routine anymore. Every detail mattered. Every moment leading up to that morning became a potential clue. In those first frantic hours, the puzzle pieces were scattered across Mandan. One thing was already clear. This was no random act. Someone had planned it. And the question hanging over the city was chilling. Who would do this, and why? Detectives combed through every frame of surveillance footage. From a camera across the street, a man appeared at 6:47 a.m, entering the RJR building. Less than 20 minutes later, he was seen leaving. Orange jacket, orange mask, dark pants, gloves, a methodical figure moving with purpose. By 7:08 a.m, he was gone, but not for long. Cameras picked him walking toward a parked Ford F-150 in a nearby McDonald's lot. That truck would become the thread connecting the chaos inside RJR to someone outside. Authorities issued a BOLO alert for the vehicle, and soon someone familiar with the truck noticed it. A county sheriff's lieutenant, one of Chad Isaac's patients. Details matched: markings, rust spots, stickers, unique identifiers. The connection was chilling, precise. By April 4th, only 3 days after the murders, law enforcement had their lead. Chad Trolan Isaac, 44, chiropractor, North Dakota native, living quietly in Washburn, was pulled over at a traffic stop. Scratches on his knees, bruises on his arms, his explanation, a dog, and a fall. But the truck, the clothing, the weapons, everything painted a far darker picture. Inside his trailer, agents found bleach-scented clothing, a reversible mask, a bent-tip knife, shell casings, and shoes matching those seen on surveillance. Evidence was mounting, yet questions remained. Why would a seemingly ordinary man commit such brutality? And how had he planned it so meticulously? The net had closed, but the answers, the motive, the reasoning were still out of reach. Chad Trollon Isaac was, by all appearances, a quiet man, a chiropractor in Washburn, North Dakota, licensed since 2009, running a decade-long practice with no complaints, no criminal record. He lived alone in a modest trailer, kept to himself, and had minimal interactions with the RJR staff beyond being a tenant at one of their properties. Born in Riverdale, North Dakota, he graduated high school in 1992, then served 5 years in the US Navy, stationed in Hawaii. He married locally, had a daughter, and later divorced. Over time, he drifted through several states, studied nursing briefly, then returned to North Dakota to pursue chiropractic work. Friends, neighbors, patients. They described him as calm, quiet, unremarkable. But on April 4th, 2019, that calm facade shattered. Despite his ordinary life, everything pointed to him. From the methodical surveillance sightings to the discarded truck, to the meticulous planning of the murders, law enforcement now had a suspect whose calm exterior masked a terrifying capacity for violence. Chad Isaac was taken into custody, charged with 4 counts of murder, burglary, concealment of a vehicle, and unauthorized use of a vehicle. Life, as Mandan knew it, would never feel safe again. April 1st, 2019 began like any other morning, but inside RJR, the day had been meticulously planned. At 5:25 a.m., Chad parked his truck at a McDonald's lot, about a 15-minute walk from the office. He had already tested the route a week prior. By 6:30 a.m., Bill and Lois Cobb arrived. 15 minutes later, Chad followed, entering the building. Adam Fuhrer walked in at 7:06 a.m., Robert Fackler at 7:06 a.m., each unsuspecting, each trapped. The attacks were calculated. Bill was shot 4 to 8 times, stabbed 28 times. Lois endured 48 stab wounds, 16 to her face and neck, and a gunshot to the chest. Adam suffered 3 gunshot wounds and 11 stab wounds. Robert was stabbed 11 times, 3 wounds piercing his heart. By the time Chad left, he had stolen Robert's truck, ditched it minutes later, and disappeared into the morning. Months of investigation followed. Evidence tied Chad to the crime, his truck, clothing, weapons, shell casings, and traces of blood. He got life in prison without the possibility of parole.
April 1st, 2019 is a day that many people will never forget. It's the day that Justin Bachheim walked into work at RJR Maintenance and Management Company and found his boss, Robert Fackler, lying on the shop floor, covered in a pool of blood. It's the day that paramedics arrived at what they believed was a cardiac arrest call, only to find their victim covered in stab wounds. And it's the day that Mandan police officers arrived at that same crime scene, conducted a protective sweep of the premises, and found not 1, not even 2, but 3 additional victims. William Cobb, Lois Cobb, and Adam Fuhrer. Each one covered in gunshot wounds and stab wounds.
I'll read the jury's verdict at this time. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn to try the above entitled action, do find the defendant, Chad Trollon Isaac, number 1, as to the offense of murder of Lois Cobb as charged in count 1 of the information, guilty. Number 2, as to the offense of murder of William Cobb as charged in count 2 of the information, guilty. Question 3. As to the offense of murder of Adam Fuhrer, as charged in count 3 of the information, guilty. Number 4, as to the offense of murder of Robert Faulkner, as charged in count 4 of the information, guilty.